Today we are going to be talking about David and Goliath and how you can slay your giants of today because of your past experiences. So let's get into this word because I'm so excited to give this to y'all. Is found in 1 Samuel chapter 17. It is a whole chapter. Please go and read it. I guarantee it's going to bless you, especially after you watch this video. So what we're really holding on to today, the main focus of our video, is my past experiences, what I've been through already, what God has delivered me from already, what I've conquered already. That is what has given me the ability to conquer my giants of today. Because the giants of today are things that we haven't seen before, things that we've never gone up against. So I want you to remember that my past experiences have given me the ability to conquer my giants of today. And that is what the story of David and Goliath is about. But I want to pull out some things that maybe you didn't see when you read it, some things that the Lord gave me. So in this story, the Philistines, which is a group of people, have come up against the children of Israel. And Israel is scared because the main person that they're afraid of, the Philistines, are known for having giants. And the main one in this story is Goliath. So if we look at Goliath, if we really studied who he was, they give a description of him in the Bible, but I want to make it more clear for you all. So it says, when I looked at my research, Goliath is about 7.5 to 10.5 feet tall. Goliath is super tall, he's super big, he's super intimidating. He has on all this armor. It says that his armor weighed about 125 pounds. Like, he's carrying me on his body, walking around like it's nothing. He's got this huge sword, he has this helmet, covers everything except for his forehead, as we know. And he's intimidating because he's experienced. It says that he was a man of war from his youth. He grew up learning how to fight. So this is his expertise. This is something that he knows how to do, and he's planning on getting over on Israel because of it. And it also says, to add to his intimidation, he's a trash talker. He's like, so y'all gonna bring somebody out to fight me or not? Really, I don't think that y'all are qualified to fight me, but bring somebody. I want to see who y'all got. So we got Goliath, this huge, intimidating giant from the Philistines, and then we have David. So let's pause right there. Goliath is our giant. Goliath is that thing in our life that we feel like we can't overcome. He's that thing that's intimidating us, standing in the way between us and victory, right? So now let's look at David, because this is usually how we would see ourselves, okay? So David is a young man. It says in the story that he was a young man. A lot of times people say that he was a boy. He was not a boy, but he kept the sheep. He was a shepherd. He kept his father's sheep, and in that he had a lot of experiences. And the only thing that he used in all of his experiences was a slingshot. This is not the slingshot that we think of today. It was more like a string with a pouch attached to it. And he puts these rocks in it and he slings it over his head like the Wild Wild West, right? So this is all he uses. This is the slingshot that he keeps in his pocket. And it says in verse 34 through 36 that he killed a lion and that he killed a bear with this same slingshot. So again, think back to what we're focusing on. My experiences from my past have given me the ability to conquer the giants that I'm facing today. Even though I've never faced them before. David never faced Goliath before prior to this moment. But he faced the lion and he faced the bear, okay? So if we compare the lion and the bear to Goliath, we'll see that Goliath really wasn't that much badder than the lion or the bear. And really, he was no competition for David. Because what everybody didn't know was David had fought these animals in secret. He had did this on his job. His day-to-day job required this of him. God had already prepped him, already primed him for this experience with Goliath. Everybody just didn't know, all right? So if we look at a bear, how tall are bears? You think about those bears in cartoons or bears in movies, and they're huge. Bears can get to be about 10 feet tall. Bears can get to be about 7.5 feet tall. So when we really look at the size, it was like, this is no match for me. I mean, if I was speaking as David, this is no match for me. I've been here. I've done this. Now, bears and lions, they're very strong animals. So it was not that Goliath was that much stronger than anything that David had ever come up against. He was just intimidating, as were the bear and the lion. You think about a lion when it roars and how fierce and how loud it can be. And then we think about Goliath and all his trash talking, and really it didn't compare. I'd rather Goliath trash talk me than a lion try to roar at me, if we just be honest, okay? So again, Goliath really wasn't much better than the lion or the bear. And that's how David saw it. And so because he focused on his past experiences and he knew that God was with him, he said, you know what? This Philistine giant is going to come up against the armies of the living God. He's no match for me. Because first of all, God is with me. And that's the first thing that we need to remember. That when we come up against a giant, that God is with us. So nothing can overtake us. Because if God be for us, he's more than the whole world against us. So there's no comparison. There's no match. But even in that, David had already fought the lion. He already killed the bear. So it didn't compare, okay? Verse 37. David said, moreover, the Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion, remember who delivered you prior to this time. The Lord that delivered me out of the paw of the lion and out of the paw of the bear, he will, he moved in faith, he will deliver me out of the hand of this Philistine. Okay. Saul said unto David, go, and the Lord be with. Now I want to break this visual down to you. When David had to kill Goliath, he used a slingshot, right? And if he was afraid versus if he was not afraid, he was going to sling that slingshot a little bit differently. If I'm scared, I'm like, oh my God, I might not sling it as hard because I'm thinking I'm not really walking in the faith that God has given me. But when you know that God is with you, you walk a little bit different. David slung that sling a little bit harder because he knew that he could overcome this. He knew that his past experiences had prepared him for a time such as this. So he slung it a little bit harder. He moved and he was able to have more momentum because our fear, the things that scare us, the things that make us back up and tremble, those things cause us to lose momentum. If he hadn't swung it as hard, he might not have been able to kill Goliath. But because he moved in faith and he knew that God was with him, I'm trying to tell y'all something, that he was then able to kill Goliath. So our past experiences help us to understand that we can move in faith and that we gain more momentum, and so that we're able to slay our giants of today. So continuing along the lines of faith, there's a part in the story where King Saul offers David his armor. He says, hey, you're going to fight a big giant. You need a big sword. You need a lot of armor. This is what you need. Here, put this on. David tries the armor on and he's reluctant to use it. He's like, King, thank you, but this was not tested. I've never used this stuff before. I've never taken it into battle. When I slew the lion, when I slew the bear, I didn't have all this stuff with me. I had my slingshot in my pocket, and it was just like, he didn't need it. And so when we look at our situations, bring that back to us, we oftentimes believe that we need more than what we actually need. Like, Lord, I need this, I need that, I'm lacking. When really, when you have God and you have your experiences, because he knew that slingshot that fit in his pocket, he knew that slingshot was good enough. It's what you already have with you that's going to get you past these situations, just like in the past. So he was like, no, King, I don't need that. I'm going to take my butt and I'm going to take these rocks that I collect along the way, and I'm going to slay this giant. Me and God together, we're going to slay the giant. So there's something that I want you guys to understand, that I want you to see. Where does David hit Goliath? He hits him right here in the head, right? And what lies here in our head? Here is our logic. Here's our thinking. Here's our thought process. And so when David goes and he kills Goliath, he makes Goliath fall first by hitting him with the slingshot, right in the dead center of his head. And it attacks the mindset, the thought process of those that are watching. David already believed that he could do it because of what he'd been through before. But everybody else that was watching, because mind you, the children of Israel are scared. The Philistines are thinking, oh, we got Goliath on our side. We straight. But it's like, no. I, as a child of God, no matter what the situation looks like, I have the upper hand. And my faith is going to outweigh all of your logic. It's not going to make sense to you guys how I overcame this, but I know that in my private time that the Lord has shaped me, that the Lord has molded me so that I can overcome all of these situations. David moved in faith. Please remember, your past experiences have given you the ability to conquer your giants of today. God has given you all the tools. Everything that you need is right there. You don't need anything extra. He has already blessed you. In Jesus' name, thank you for watching. See you all next week.